What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is the Blacklist, Season 7, Episode 18, Roy Cain. So we're finally getting stuff moving. And honestly, it just feels too long in coming because next episode is the season finale. And I really highly doubt they're going to wrap up everything in the next episode because it feels like it would be really stupid of the writers. I really hope they're not planning on doing this. It'd be really stupid of the writers to have the whole first half of the season about Katarina and about her and Reddington going after each other. And then mid-season finale, he thinks she's dead, she's hiding out, and then we spend most of the second half of the season not really focusing on her at all. And then you bring her back in the second to last episode, and then the final episode you finish up the story. Like, that would be really dumb. So I have to assume that they're smart enough to say, okay, well, we didn't spend much time on it here, we're going to save it for next season. We're going to really wrap up everything there. We're going to get to the heart of the matter, the heart of the battle between Katarina and whoever Reddington used to be, why there's this disconnect, who he is. I have to hope that we will get down to that. And maybe even talk about who the Townsend directive is, who this Neville Townsend, I think his name was. If hopefully we find out who that is before all of this is done and finished. So, yeah, I don't know. I have to hope that they're not going to wrap up all of that story in the next episode and then we'll just go on to something completely different. Because honestly, again, I did have the thought that Liz does want to help her mother, and that might bring down the wrath of the Townsend directive, and that could be kind of cool, but they're not really focusing on that. It's been more so kept in the secret. We're not focusing on it. We'll talk about it later. So I don't know. I'm really worried because the second half of the season has not been that good. And I'm really worried they're going to end it on just this is how it's going to end. Is just they have a showdown on the season finale, and that would suck. But with all that being said, this episode really did have some interesting moments. You know, between Red and Dembe at one point. Dembe basically going to save his mom, and ready to basically sell out Reddington because of that. And even at the end, like, he could have lied to Reddington, but he knew what he was going to do and why he was going to do it. And I think ultimately, at the end of it all, Reddington does appreciate that. Like, he does understand where Dembe's coming from. You know, after obviously talking with the Imam, because it did sound like he was ready to cut ties with him and be like, look, it already happened once, it's happening again, it's not going to be okay. But then the Imam kind of changed his mind. And I do like that. You know, I feel like it shows Reddington is changing a bit. He's not just the same old guy who's just, you know, all right, one and done. That's it. Because I do think that is a poor way to not just run the business he's trying to run, but also to keep people close to you. You know, because yes, it does sort of instill this fear in people that they don't want to turn their back on you, because if they do, they end up dead or, you know, cut out, whatever. But at the same time, and if it's a situation like Dembe, you know, where it's somebody close to him and he's going to rat out Reddington for that person, I mean, you gotta have some heart, you know, and especially for somebody as close as Dembe is to him, he knows that Dembe would not rat him out for no reason whatsoever. He needs a good reason, and an innocent man's life being threatened is a pretty damn good reason. So I feel like Reddington, I'm hoping, is going to be understanding in all of this. Of course, we still don't know what's going on with him. You know, the doctor at the beginning is saying, hey, you know, you need to rethink what you're doing, and I still don't know what he's doing that's causing this. But clearly something that's going on right now is causing him to, I guess, possibly, like, slowly dying. I don't know. I don't get it. But I do think we're going to probably find out in the next episode, since he and Liz, you know, had that moment where he said he would give her basically his whole empire, and Wrestler told her his theory about why. I'll be interested to see how that all comes to a conclusion. But yeah, overall, I mean, this one was perfectly fine. It was kind of a interesting little setup, you know, with the prison warden letting the guys out of the prison to go do his dirty work, whatever he was contracted to do. But it's pretty straightforward. You know, they did have to have something going on, so that way the team had something to stop. You know, so this woman's life and witness protection was being threatened. So that's basically it. You know, that's what those are the people that the team has to save for this episode. That way it's not just, hey, you're doing this wrong thing, and I know no missions are going on right now, so let's just arrest him. That's kind of it. So, but yeah, all in all, pretty solid episode. So hopefully this season finale is good. I really don't know what to expect, and I'm a little worried, but we'll see when I get there. So I'll see you guys in just a minute. And now episode 19, the Kazanjian brothers. So knowing that the production for season 7 did shut down around this time, it sort of makes sense to me now why it did sort of feel like things were ending a little too soon. Now, would they have wrapped up everything with Katarina at the end of the season had they not shut down? I don't know. I still feel like there wasn't really enough focus on her for majority of the second half of the season to wrap everything up by the end of it, even if they had kept their usual, I think, 23 episodes, maybe? Possibly? So they might have decided to wrap it up, but I really don't think they would have. I felt like they... Again, I don't really know what the second half of the season was all about. I don't know why they took such a weird break from it all, like just focused elsewhere and then kind of had things going on in the background, like very little steps forward for a little while. But yeah, so as far as this episode is concerned, first of all, the animation, I will say, I mean, I get what they were trying to do, and I do think it was a creative attempt to try to fill in the gaps of the episode that they had not recorded yet. So I get that. But I feel like you could have taken this to some company that does better animation, because it was not great. You know, it was okay. It was like I understood what they were going for. It kind of almost felt a little LA Noire in a way. So just kind of that feeling of what this show, like, honestly, it matched the style of the show pretty well. It's just, I don't know, the animation itself was not great. I feel like there are animators out there that could have done that, you know, kept the look, kept the style, but made it look better than that was. Now, granted, I get they were working under, you know, lockdown, house arrest, basically. So it's... I get the fact that maybe it wouldn't be stellar 100% quality, but that it was still a little as far as the animation was concerned. But story-wise, not really a fan of where they're taking it right now. And I understood Liz kind of wanting to help her mom for a little bit, because, yeah, it's her mom. She wants to try to help her because she's family. But the more that her mom does to try to get to Reddington, the more I kind of have to question, okay, Liz, do you not see the problem here? Yes, Reddington, he's willing to let her die to keep his secrets. Like, that is something he's willing to do, and that's not necessarily a good thing. However, she's willing to let all these innocent people die to get to him and save herself. So he's willing to let her die for his secrets. She's willing to let whoever die just so she could stay alive. They're both very self-serving, but one is willing to threaten innocence. And in my opinion, that puts her on the wrong side of things. I'm not saying Reddington is a good guy. I'm not saying that what he's doing is not incorrect. I'm not saying that it's not wrong for him to protect his own secrets, even if it costs Katarina her life. But he's not threatening innocence. He never kills him, though. The boy, he could have killed him because Katarina decided she didn't want, to save his life. But again, she's willing to let that kid die if it means she gets to stay alive. But Reddington wasn't willing to kill him because he's not willing to go that far to get to her. And that, in my opinion, that is the big difference between the two, and it does put Reddington slightly more on the side of being morally right. And yet Liz completely ignores all of that. She kidnaps Dembe's mom. She was willing to kill him and Dembe just to get to the truth. Liz knows about that. She doesn't know about the kid. The kid is something else entirely. But she knows about the imam. And it's like, no, I'm on your side. I'm willing to help you kidnap and kill a bunch of innocents if it means that you get to live. I'm okay with that. And that's not within Liz's character at all. And so in my opinion, I think it's a pretty poor choice for the writers. I feel like this was a chance, even if Liz does take her side, I feel like there's got to be more from Liz. More for her to say, actually, I want to be on your side. But innocence, it's not okay. Because that's the thing. The scene between her and her mom, I think it was at the end of the last episode, talking about taking Dembe's mom, that conversation, in my opinion, if Liz was going to stick with her mom, it should have been, hey, I want to help you. I want to protect you. That's not okay. So we'll do it. I'll find a way to help you. I'll find a way to protect you, but we're going to do it my way, which means no more innocents caught in the crossfire. No more people getting kidnapped. No more innocent people getting harmed just to get your way. But she doesn't do any of that. She just decides, yeah, I'm going to help you. And that's just, again, it's not within Liz's character. So I feel like they've really dropped the ball on Liz's character this season in multiple facets. Not just with this stuff, but like I said earlier in the season, some of the stuff that she was missing when her mom first moved in across the hall, a lot of the stuff that she was just like turning a blind eye to and completely ignoring, not piecing together. There's a lot about Liz this season that I feel like the writers kind of lost sight of who she is as a character. Yes, she's willing to tap into that darkness. The whole speech at the end, she's willing to embrace this as her destiny, blah, 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 all of that. She has that side of her. But she's not willing to kill innocents. That is not something I ever expect Liz to be okay with. She's willing to kill. She's willing to take out people, even if they're bad people, or especially if they're bad people. She is okay with that. And we've seen she's okay with doing that. But when it comes to innocent people being caught in the crossfire, she is not somebody that would be okay with that, and yet she's now seemingly okay with her mom doing that. So that's, in my opinion, that's a mistake. Because even if they decided to make that part of her character now, it's a step down for her. And she's supposed to be one of, I see her and Red as the two main characters on the show. And part of the reason is because in the opening, little moment, whenever they have the title, you see Liz and Red both there. And it's been that way since the beginning of the show. So in my opinion, it started with them, it should end with them. So those are your two main characters. Those are the two that you should kind of be rooting for. Yes, you don't always agree with Red, but you kind of still root for him. Partially because he's also very charismatic. But you also root for Liz because you want her to get to the bottom of everything going on. You want her to figure out stuff that's going on. But now I'm kind of feeling like I'm more on Red's side. Like I want him to stop her since she's so willing to do all of this awful stuff and so willing to let her mom do all of this awful stuff just for her. Just for her mom. And that's, I get the prospect of you want to protect your family. I get that. That's a very powerful motivation. I still don't think Liz would use that as a reason to be okay with innocents being caught in the middle. It's just not anything that I would expect from her character. So, yeah, I'm a little disappointed with this season, in all honesty. There are a lot of moments that, first of all, felt out of character. There were several moments that felt like the writing wasn't very clever. It felt very stupid. There are a couple pretty big mistakes. The one, call 911. I did it. You got the, what was the other one? Oh, I'm leaving to get help. I'm still here. It's just moments like that don't feel normal in a show like this. The whole story with Aram and Elodie, not that interesting and kind of stupid and ended very blandly, in my opinion. The stuff with Wrestler near the end was kind of interesting, but even then that was just like an episode. Park, kind of interesting. Hope to find out a bit more about what happened in Anchorage that caused her, to have to leave and also caused Cooper to think about her being on the team. There are things that were okay. They were decent. I did like a lot of the back and forth between Red and Katarina at the beginning of the season. But as it went on, first of all, they lost focus on it. They didn't really talk about it. And then by the end of the season, it feels like it's more so, all right, so now it's Liz deciding she's going to go up against Red. Where have I seen that before? Oh, right, last season. It's even, I think, yeah, it was the beginning of this episode. She was talking to Dom at the beginning of this episode, and there was a moment where she was talking about, so many people have died trying to keep the secret of who Reddington is. She lists off all these people, and I'm like, where have I heard this before? Oh, right, it was last season whenever she was looking for the secret of what was in the briefcase. So many people have died for this secret. Yeah, you said that last season. We've regressed again. We've regressed back to what last season was, which was her up against Red, trying to figure out his secrets. He's trying to figure out, what she's doing to get to his secrets. And it's just, we're doing this all over again. And I kind of hate it. I hate that we're doing this again. The only added aspect is that her mom is now involved. So now she and her mom are going up against Reddington. But it still doesn't change the fact that at the end of the day, what is it again? It's Liz versus Red. It's the two of them on opposing sides. Liz is going to do everything she can to figure out his secrets. He's going to do everything he can to figure out her secrets. And that's basically what it's going to boil down to. And at the end of the day, I'm assuming Liz will eventually find out. Because once Liz finds out, that's when we'll find out. Because that's typically how it goes. So, yeah. I don't know. This season was a little rough. I do want to make one other mention just because I saw at the end, when they were giving their final goodbyes. It does appear that Dom's actor passed away in 2020. So I assume, because at the end of the episode, they were talking about him coming out of his coma. So I'm guessing they're probably going to have to write him off, which is sad. And rest in peace to the actor who played him. But, it's just something that when I saw that, I was like, oh, it's unfortunate that happened. But yeah, overall, Season 7, definitely the weakest season for me. I don't know what to expect from here. I don't know. Obviously, 3 more seasons left to go. I don't know what they have planned. I will go ahead and jump right into Season 8 just because I do feel like the season ended on a bit of a unsatisfactory note, mostly because they had to shut down filming. So I will go ahead and jump right into Season 8 just so I can hopefully get some of the questions and some of the stuff I want to see answered before I jump into another show. So, yeah, I'll see you guys at that one, but that's it for me. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on these final 2 episodes and on Season 7 as a whole? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all the good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Blacklist reviews. I will see you guys at the next season. Peace out.